Hello, my friends. Welcome to Porter's Place on this Victory Monday. I'm calling it a Victory Monday because everybody is still fired up based on what the Jacksonville Jaguars did over the weekend. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Porter. I'm talking about this guy who has that infectious smile, big personality, generational talent. The man there on your screen, Travis Hunter, a two-way star who played his ball first at Jackson State. Then he went to Colorado, won the Heisman Trophy, and on Thursday night, even hours before the NFL draft kicked off, the Jacksonville Jaguars top brass did something that I thought was absolutely sensational. A little nugget dropping, some crumbs that they may trade up 3 spots to number 2 and get Hunter, stealing the headline on Thursday night and for most of the draft. Travis Hunter, man, you gotta love his attitude. You gotta love his spirit. He's just the smile. Who can't love that smile? Who can't love this grown man who still has the personality and the exuberance and the enthusiasm of a kid? Here's why I like this pick. Number 1, we fill 2 holes. The guy can play on offense. The guy can play on defense. We saw him do it at Colorado for 2 years. Everybody kept saying he can't do it. Can't do it. Now they're saying he can't do it in the NFL. One thing that I have learned is that don't doubt this man. Don't doubt him. Liam Cohen saying that himself, along with his defensive coordinator, they have a game plan for this young man. They're going to start him on the offensive side and then ease him into the defense. But I want you to hear this sound from Jaguars general manager James Gladstone when introducing Travis Hunter on Thursday. Take a listen.
It's capacity to ignite belief, right? Belief in ourselves, belief in others, right? Belief in achieving what many may deem impossible. Travis Hunter, he embodies belief, right? He's a rare person, he's a rare player, but he's also a reminder that the boundaries of the game of football were built to be challenged. And so the decision to select him was actually a statement for how we plan to move, who we are, and we want him to be nothing more than him. Because when he is, he elevates the space around him. From the football field to the city to the game of football itself, Travis Hunter is who we've been hunting up. Couldn't be more jacked to be sitting right here beside him and introduce you all to the man of the hour.
Some fine words there from Jaguars general manager James Gladstone, a rare person, a rare player. This guy's built to challenge the boundaries of football, saying that this decision to move up and to select him is a statement of this is how they're going to move, and they just want him to be himself. A guy that is fantastic at being himself is my main man, Big Game James, my brother from another mother, always making time to sit down and talk with us. Big Game James, so good to see you. James, I'm just being serious. This conversation today is not even about X's and O's, because we know X's and O's. We know you're outstanding at X's and O's. But I really want to give those people who may have been hiding under a rock, have not been paying attention to the story, I really need for you to, like, in layman terms, real simple, explain to people how big of a move this is, one, and what this means to this city.
Excitement and hope. That's really what it comes down to. Is you got a guy that can, every time you see him on the field, you're going to feel like he's going to be able to make a play. Whether it's defense getting an interception, whether it's offense being able to catch it and be electric. So that's really the big thing. It's also simplicity. If you want to know how he's going to be utilized, think about the middle of the field, the slot wide receiver position. His job is to be the slot wide receiver, and his job is to defend the slot wide receiver. And that's really what they're going to do. Football is a simple game that people who have never played it have made overly complicated. But I think what they're going to do is make this simple and be able to utilize this young man's superstardom to be able to let him continue to do the things like we said. Just go out and be Travis Hunter. And I think we haven't had a player that we've been able to just go out there and just say, go be you.
James, I've been covering the Jaguars now for 16 years, and I cannot remember a time when I have been this enthused, or even the people around the city, they've been this enthused about a pick. Yeah, in 2021, when we got Trevor Lawrence, everybody was excited, but we were not experiencing what we experience now. I've talked to so many casual football fans who are saying, I'm buying tickets. I'm going to get his jersey. I've talked to non-football fans who said, you know what? This fall, I'm coming because I want to see him, and I want to see the celebrities that he's going to draw here to the River City. We have never heard conversations like this from past prospects.
Nah, we haven't. I mean, Trevor Lawrence didn't bring Lil Wayne. I can promise you that one. And Lil Wayne, all jokes aside, Lil Wayne will be here at the end of next month with the Cash Money concert. So you're gonna like him. All the different things we saw what he did at Jackson State with the energy behind with Deion and those guys behind it. Same thing with Colorado. But again, it's just when he starts making plays, who else is gonna want to be behind him? He's young. He's got an infectious smile. He's exuberant and he's good. And I think if them just going in there, you're going to see the Travis Hunter effect. I got caught up in it when he was being recruited. He's actually the first high school player that I've ever told my son, forget what other people are playing like. I want you to play like this young man. He's exciting. He's good. He wants to go out and make plays, and not a lot of people want to be that. So it's great to have him. And again, the more you think about it from a football perspective, the more it makes sense. And the energy, it makes business sense and football sense.
James, for so long, the Jacksonville Jaguars, we've had not as much success the last few years consistently as this franchise had in early days. But one of the things that I already like about the top brass, James Gladstone, the head coach Liam Cohen, even Executive Vice President of Football Operations Tony Baselli, is the fact that it is clear they did have a game plan, and they approached this draft differently from any other regime we've seen in past years. They did not do the top 30 visits. They did not do the local pro days. They relied on their scouting. They relied on their intel, and they also get it. You know, James, we're looking at the now, but I know in the big picture, that stadium of the future will be here before you know it in 2028. And I've got to give kudos to them, first of all, for being bold, making a statement, but also having enough vision and foresight to understand, yes, we want to win now, but most importantly, when this new stadium is done, we've got to have someone that people want to see play.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're doing. So right now, the hope is that they get Trevor to where he needs to be at, right? So the offense it accentuates his positives and his strengths, so that now you have your quarterback when you relaunch in 2028. You got the two guys he's going to be throwing to that are going to bring that excitement and that funk that will still be young in 2028. And then from there, you just kind of build upon different things to continue to grow it. So again, you feel like you have the team that fits a brand new stadium along with the brass that will be there. Because again, if this works, they're going to be the guys, the prototype. They're going to be the guys that everybody wants to mimic. If it doesn't, they may not be here in 2028. The acronym is not for long. The NFL is what have you done for me lately league, regardless of the entitlement that some people believe. But I think these guys have done what they needed to do and will create the excitement for going to Orlando or wherever they go to play games. And not losing that fan base while you're gone traveling, but also making sure that it's a warm welcome when that stadium of the future comes back.
James, correct me if I'm wrong. As I've said, I don't know X's and O's as much as you do because you played the game both on the collegiate and on the professional level. But this for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, bring him on the screen. This for me, I believe, is a make or break year for Trevor Lawrence. We disregarded year one, Urban Meyer, that disaster. We brought in Doug Peterson. His first year was successful. They finished the year strong. They won a playoff game. They lost to the eventual world champion Kansas City Chiefs. The last 2 years, he has not been able to remain healthy. We've had two debacles down the stretch the last 2 years. It concerns me, and I got to be honest, because as much as I am excited about the promise of Brian Thomas Jr. and the promise of Travis Hunter, you and I both know their success is going to lie squarely on the shoulders of Trevor Lawrence.
One of the things that I look at, and one of my good friends is Peter Wark, and he talks about, man, in college, I made the quarterbacks look good.
Right.
And that's what you have to rely on. You have to take the excuses away. And one of the guys, again, I like Trevor, but I've seen posts that I've made and things like that. One thing that the city of Jacksonville does, when they love you, they will make excuses. But I have a saying, we make excuses for people that we like. But at the end of the day, if every wide receiver drops your passes, are you throwing a catchable ball? But right now, you have a wide receiver that you can't outthrow his legs. So that's good. Let's put that in the offense. We've got some guys that should be able to catch. Parker Washington down the stretch was able to give you some stability. He's used to doing that. He's also hungry. Parker
Yeah.
Washington don't got the luxury that Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter got. He still got to fight out for one of them positions, as he wasn't one of those top picks. But now you got Travis Hunter, and what is Travis Hunter's claim to fame on the offensive side of the ball? Making the difficult catches. Much ado about nothing was made about Shedeur Sanders. But some of the highlights that people have made for Travis Hunter and even some of the other guys are not great film for Shedeur Sanders. It's a throw in triple coverage that you see Travis Hunter go up and get. You see him climb the top of the mountain to go and catch a ball one-handed. You see him making these difficult catches. That's where you're getting guys that come in and can excuse a high pass. Now you can make bad decisions and they're going to make you correct. So that's kind of what they're hoping for with these guys. I said it when we got Trevor. I'm not Trevor, excuse me. When we got Trevor, yeah, we got our quarterback, but who is he going to throw to? Now you're giving the people to throw to, and you also have some of these weapons in the backfield that also give him something else. You get your tight end that you felt was doing enough. You have enough pieces to make sure they do it. They got to be able to see some progress moving forward. If we don't see progress moving forward, that 2026 year might be really short for him.
Before we move on from Travis Hunter, I want to address a couple of more things. Number one, I like the fact that he's so real. He's so human. I mean, you can relate to him, and this is a guy that we've seen if you cover the game, if you went to the press conference. And what I also like is his confidence. You know, when I was listening to the press conference, you and I, because we were in studio anchoring it on a Friday, the one thing that I love that he said, he wants to put in the work. He wants to be the best. He's smart with a 4.0 GPA. He proved that when he said Brian Thomas Jr. had an outstanding year. And he's going to lean on him because he knows the formula to be successful in the NFL. But what I also like, Big Game James, was the fact that he said, I want to be better than him.
I mean, iron sharp as iron. I don't want anybody around me who doesn't want to win. And that's how winners typically are. Whether I'm coaching, whether I'm playing, once I feel like you just okay and you're satisfied.
Okay, so we lost Big Game James there. Hold on, there he is. He's back. Go ahead, James.
All right, yeah, I don't want anybody around me who doesn't want to win. And I think that's the mindset. So, yeah, you're good. I'm going to use you because you're my partner. But I'm finna prove that I'm the number one guy because there's only one football. And I want that football in my hand. So I think that's good. It's competitive. And the only way you can raise the level of expectations for winning is if you raise the level of the competition that's around you. Too many guys come in and say, oh, well, that's his position. I don't like those guys around me. I don't want to raise my kids that way. I came from having to, you got to eat, you eat what you kill. And that's kind of what we got with Travis Hunter right now.
All right, let's switch topics. Besides Travis Hunter, I don't keep saying Trevor Hunter. Travis Hunter. The other big story of the draft after day one was Shedeur Sanders and his fall to the fifth round to the Cleveland Browns. Even the prank call that he received from the Falcons defensive coordinator's son, the defensive coordinator is named Ulbrich. James, explain to me, before we even get to the prank call, how a guy can go from being in the top three as a quarterback prospect on everybody's mock draft to, during the draft, 143 guys were picked before him.
Well, I think the problem is about who you're listening to. And a lot of mock drafts, a lot of people were going off of the news clips and the hype that they were hearing, but they weren't going off of what the NFL analysts and the actual NFL scouts and things were saying. We can all use an anonymous person, but I've gone to the combine 6 times, and I can promise you there was not a ton of excitement when it came to Shedeur Sanders. And I think what happened was this. When you really look at it, Cam Ward was the number one guy in this draft. If he would have came out last year, he wasn't the number one guy. If he comes out next year, he's not the number one guy. But he was the number one guy. But even him, he still did Miami's pro day. He still did all the interviews. His last game, you saw him dominate. Shedeur Sanders' last game, you saw him get boat raced by BYU. Now, when they start doing the last taste they have of football was him doing that. But then you had the East-West Shrine game. You did not participate in that outside of interviews. You had the Combine. You did not participate in that outside of interviews. You had the Big 12 Pro Day. You did not participate in that outside of some interviews. And then you did your own individual Pro Day, but that was curated and tailored to you. So the question started to be, his Pop Warner coach was his daddy. His high school coach was his daddy. His college coach was his daddy. Is this a guy that can come in and play in any environment, or is this a guy who we have to curate the environment to him? Again, going back to the number one guy, Cam Ward, FCS guy, he was eating. Went to Washington State, was eating. Came to Miami, immediately was eating. You pick him up and put him anywhere on God's green earth, he's going to triple his work. We know what we can get with that guy. What we don't know is what we're getting with this. And then the worst thing they did was compare him. And they got videos. Go watch the videos of Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders and walk away and tell me who's the alpha in that role. And again, so it's not a knock, and it's not the first time. Jason White from Oklahoma, Josh Heupel from Oklahoma, Kellen Moore from Boise, 2 BCS wins, better stats than Shedeur. The NFL has a thing where you can show me your stats, but I need to know who was it against. Was it against top-level talent, and what was the game that made me believe? And I'm not saying Shadeur's not going to be a great quarterback. I actually think he is. I don't think he was a day 3 quarterback. But what I will say is that there was enough knocks for them to feel like I can't put millions and millions of dollars behind this guy in my job. And it's unfortunate. Just the way the NFL is.
And James, I totally agree. But I also feel like you can't discount what Shedeur was able to do at Jackson State, and especially what he did at Colorado. Remember when Deion, Coach Prime, and Shedeur and Travis Hunter arrived there, they had only won one game. In fact, let's be frank, we hadn't talked about before Coach Prime and Shedeur and Travis arrived in Boulder about the Buffaloes since the Hail Mary from Flash, Cordell Stewart, against Michigan back in 1994. Coach Prime and Shedeur had this team on the national game of the week. It appeared every week the first year and a lot during the second year. And I also think you have to take into account that the guy played behind one of the worst offensive lines in Boulder back-to-back years, still was one of the most accurate, still put up big numbers, and he stayed healthy for the most part.
He did. He also threw 65 to 70% of his completions were behind the line of scrimmage. It's not his fault per se. It's not a knock. It is what it is. I go back to Hard Knocks. One of the episodes, there was a guy from Iowa State. I forgot the quarterback's name. He did well, and he said, "What do I need? The only way I could have done better is if I would have made chicken salad out of chicken excrement. What could I have done better?" And you know what the scout told him? Make chicken salad out of chicken excrement. That's the nature of the NFL. It's not new. It's just new because we like the Sanders, and we make excuses for the people that we like. But I asked this on my show, name me the one game that made you a believer of Shedeur Sanders. And then I went through the guys who got picked. Now Tyler Sow, there's no excuse for Tyler Sow. Have nothing for that. But I'll tell you this, Jalen Milroe. You know who Jalen Milroe beat? He's beaten the University of Georgia, and he's played in the college football playoff. The University of Georgia is the prototype right now of defenses in the NFL. When you look at Jackson Dart beat Georgia. Jackson Dart's last game was here in Jacksonville, where he did play a really, really good game in the Gator Bowl against a coach that most people would do that say has good defense. And then he participated in the bowl games and a lot of these other different things. Shedeur Sanders is an NFL, is a pro player. Was he the top 3 guy? Was he this? And again, I ask guys like Quincy Avery. There's a local guy here, Denny Thompson. You can talk about a lot of these
name
guys
drop, James. Name drop.
Who actually do quarterback training. Running back, wide receiver, I can tell you. I don't know this stuff. I like the guys who are this, and they will tell you, here's what he doesn't do well. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are ignoring these things, But here's the other thing that you can't ignore as well for doing stats: 13-12 over the last 2 years. Was at Jackson State with a FBS roster in the FCS, lost 2 Celebration Bowls against subpar teams. With they cannot overlook when the game was tight and you really were playing tough competition, you did not win, and that's unfortunate. That's not me. And then the other side of it is, I'm being critical, right? But I'm not being critical, but I'm not being a hater. Anytime you're critical of him, their camp, the first thing they do, Dan Orlovsky has done nothing but praise Shadur. And then he brought up and said, hey, man, he takes sack. He takes unnecessary sack.
Yeah.
He does this. If somebody were to not like him, here's what would be. Deion Sanders went and quote tweeted and said, man, you're being a hater now. Where have we ever that's where you're kind of like, okay, man, I can't even do if I can't do my job and not be considered a hater, that means you feel you're above reproach. And what happens is people start asking, are you coachable? Do you really love it? You also went to Paris Fashion Week for a week. The first week you were there for the first spring game, you did a concert right after your spring game. The first thing you do after getting drafted by the Browns is you're in the club taking pictures with people when they're already or not. It's not about changing who you are. It's about, is this really you? Because I'll be honest with you, Prime was Prime. Prime walked it because Prime was it was unquestionably the best defensive back within that draft. Unquestionably one of the best defensive backs who have ever lived. It's a difference when it really is you and when it's not you. And again, there's a lot of things in the air in the draft where there is nobody who is really taking the mantle from it. You got to take it when it's like this. That's not telling people not to be confident, not to be arrogant. Cam Ward is not a meek person at all. Cam Ward is actually very confident and very arrogant. But he's going to also be the black. You ain't going to outwork him. You ain't again. Cam Newton was that. It's a lot of confident, arrogant players that just don't get outworked.
And Cam Ward will go down as the first number 1 pick that nobody talked about the entire draft other than when the commissioner called his name. About the prank, James, and we can touch that because I also want to talk about Mandarin before we go. We know what happened with the defensive coordinator from Atlanta. His son got his laptop. They called saying they were the general manager. He was the general manager of the Saints. A classless act.
Very classless. Inexcusable. Very stressful situation for him. I was mad for Shadur. You're already going through all of the different things, whether it's you read the people on social media telling you, things that they shouldn't be saying to you, because that stuff's not true. He is good. They're telling you suck, you're this, you're that. And then for some kid to go, and I'm mad about the apology. I'm mad about what the Atlanta Falcons are doing. I don't think an apology is good enough. I'm not saying that coach should be fired, but I'm saying he should feel it in his pocket. This is why I don't leave my phone around my kids. That leaves some bad stuff to happen. That is sensitive information. He shouldn't have been access to it. And the only reason that kid is apologizing is because he got caught.
Yep.
Because this is what he was. He wouldn't have got caught if he wasn't bold enough and dumb enough to put it on his social media so you can actually see his face and know who he was. But I hate apologies. I hate apologies like that even more. Be a man, own up to it, but there needs to be a punishment. We can talk about accountability with Shadur all day, but if you can't be accountable for your kids and getting access to information that wasn't supposed to be there, to sensitive information, then you don't understand again what it means to be in the NFL, because it's not just players. Nobody is bigger than the shield is what the NFL loves to espouse. You need to prove that with the discipline and what you do with this. That man felt the shield was weak enough to just lay important information out there on a coffee table. That is irresponsible. And for a coordinator, you are in charge of men. What else you leave? I bet you wouldn't leave the Atlanta Falcons playbook out in the open just like that. Or maybe you did, because it might explain a lot of things and why they play the way they play.
I got you. All right, James, let's talk high school football. Mandarin Mustangs working over there now. Spring practice going down. You got a couple of big names going now. Quarterback Tremere Jones, who is now at the University of Florida. You've got Jamie French Jr., who's still stunting like his daddy. He's now in Austin, Texas, playing for the Longhorns. You guys have got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, man, and there's another one, Drake Stubbs, on the defensive side of the ball that we got to place. But luckily, we've been blessed. Having Toby Bullock, and a lot of people just believe in Coach Bullock's vision. That's why I'm here. A lot of coaches, a lot of players want to come and play for Coach Bullock and the style of offense that we have. So we got a young quarterback at Knox Ennis, freshman that got offers from everybody. And then we got this young man that I'm a grown man, Chris. I can't just go around calling children by nicknames and stuff. So I'm going to call him. He's Bryson to me. Like, his name's Bryson. His daddy named him, mama named him Bryson. He's going to be Bryson to me, but the world might know him as B5. And I ain't going to lie, man. B5 kind of fine. That young man at Levy can do things. Defensively, we have one of the better secondaries. Sharif, you've got Tamaj, you got Brody Jennings, who everybody's recruiting, and just some other. We got a big a D tackle as well, and Brian Harris. So we got some pieces here. It's about putting it together, getting better, getting these guys looks, and letting them know that you don't read your press clippings. My mom used to say, don't go around smelling yourself because the ink ain't dry yet. You ain't signed nothing yet. So, and Jamie and Tramel help build what Toby has put with Mandarin up to this point. It's about these young men right now building upon it and earning the moniker that we have here as Mandarin U. Because you come here to Mandarin U if you want to play on the next level. So that's kind of what we believe over here.
I got you, my brother, James Coleman, a.k.a. Big Game James, my brother from another mother. Always so good to see your face on the screen, whether it's here on Porter's Place, on the television screen. Thank you, my brother.
All right, my man. Bye.
All right. But again, the big story of the day, even on this Monday, Travis Hunter, a Jacksonville Jaguar, he has got the entire First Coast, even across the pond, the folks in London who are Jaguar fans, excited about him being a Jacksonville Jaguar. And you know what? I can't wait for football season. I'm ready. Let's skip off season. Let's skip. I'm just joking. I know you got to do all that kind of good stuff. But it's going to be interesting to really see how he's going to help elevate our Jacksonville Jaguars. For James Coleman, I'm Chris Porter. Thanks for watching.